Hi, I'm Rosie.
Yay, I'm back on YouTube.
Welcome to my channel. We're looking to what's going on intuitively in the world, from the political to the personal.
You can book personal readings on my website, rosieinsights.com. Rosie and Karina News Digest. Rosie Insights started about 7 years ago as Rosie Psychic Investigator, looking at news related to the Trump administration. Over the years, I have followed the practice of doing research about what's going on in the news, making that a core feature of my content. As of November 7th, 2024, I have had Karina as my daily guest slash partner for the series after the election. We are committed to working as a pair on this series at least until this election situation is resolved. Karina lives in Arizona, loves crystals, and is a certified aromatherapist. She is working on her website for private client healing appointments. We'll share her info once it's ready. Karina started as Rosie's, meaning my client, about 5 years ago, and then we became friends and started sharing the conversations we were having privately already. This channel is about looking at current news and events through an intuitive lens and sharing intuitive information. This content is for entertainment purposes only. Trust your intuition. This channel is just one source. Do your research, trust your intuition. You are the master of your own beliefs. What we won't do: conform. We do not conform with what other channels say necessarily. This is an independent channel, as is theirs. If you have a question about what you heard on another channel, ask that channel. On to today's episode. If you like this video, subscribe and press like. Thank you for watching.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosie and Karina, Psychic Investigators.
Hello.
Karina. Okay, so
Hello. Ooh.
just getting a drink of electrolytes here. It's funny, you can see the salt border, whatever. Long story. But the point is, so we got a little bit of breaking news today.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking, Karina and I, and we're discussing the topics. We have already separated, like chosen a lot of the things to talk about. But then I received this message from someone, and I think it's breaking news. So I said we're discussing here, Karina, that to just do it now, put it out, this
Mm-hmm.
part, and then record the other stuff later because I have a feeling until the situation is dealt with, then we're like it's gonna be crazy. So there's a lot more to cover, but we're just gonna put this video out now, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll come back later. Okay? All right. So let's do the protection, Karina. I
Yes.
thanks from protection. Beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that create the good and only the good. And so it is. Okay. So somebody sent me a message. I don't want to share his name. Um, okay, let me just like okay. So he said, I think I can just, it's okay because, so I'll just say what he wrote to me. I'm a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring this video to your attention. This guy is in psychic. He just reports on Ukraine a lot, and I have seen the mainstream cover this. I'm flying to LA tomorrow. I'm finding myself worried about traveling this weekend. Anyways, continue the great work, sending love and light. So I clicked on the link, and it's one of the channels. I told you guys that I don't watch this channel really. I did not know about it, but it's like a family, it's like the channel. I listen to a lot of military channels and channels that kind of related to Ukraine, and this is one of those channels. So let me just go straight to it. It's about Russia and NATO. Okay, so let me share here, share. And let's see if where is it? Okay. Is that it? Okay. All right, so breaking news. Poland discovers Russian plot to attack global airlines, NATO on alert. So I'm just going to play this person's video here. It's okay, I'm going to just play because he talked, it's quick, but it would take a while to explain all of it. And I have checked and it's true. I have here an actual circle next to it, but let's just listen to him talk. Him meaning, this is not the person of the, obviously, right, who has this other channel called The Enforcer, is not the person who sent me the video. It's a man, so I'm saying him, okay?
More video, and today we have very big and disturbing news coming out of Poland. Because this morning we're hearing from Polish intelligence that apparently they've uncovered a Russian plot to sabotage and actively target civilian airliners globally around the world in order to strike fear in the West. And it sounds like that plot has been uncovered officially as of this morning, and that is very disturbing to hear, and we have all the details on that. And also we are hearing that out of France, France has been training a team of highly trained special forces in recent months to potentially go into Ukraine to actually back up the Ukrainian forces and fight the Russians off. And also on another front, we're hearing that in mainland Russia, a Lukoil oil refinery has currently gone up in smoke and a huge explosion has happened at the plant. And we're really not sure exactly what happened with it, but we're being told there was something inside the plant that exploded and it could be sabotaged by the Ukrainians. And also on a last piece of news here, we also have some more news coming out about the potential peace talks between Russia and also Ukraine and the US. But with that, we're jumping into our first article of the day, which goes to the Kyiv Post. And I must admit, this is extremely disturbing news to hear right here, because according to the Kyiv Post, we are hearing from the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk that he is saying that Russia planned a sabotage targeting attack on airlines worldwide. And apparently, Poland has uncovered that this morning. And it says here that Western intelligence previously revealed that Russia attempted to organize attacks on civilian aircraft globally using small incendiary devices. It sounds like Russia is planning to resort to very crude means to strike fear in the West. And this is actually tactics we usually see from groups supported by Iran. So it sounds like Russia is stooping down to that level of resorting to these fear tactics and starting to try to target civilian airliners. So not good to hear, but let's listen to Donald Tusk's statement and hear what he had to say about this plot.
Now, before I play, I have not heard him talk. This is a president. So what, you know, that this is another reason why it's very credible and very important. A president of the country made that statement. It's not like a random journalist. It's not anything. When a president of a country makes that statement, it is very serious. Now, and also I wanted to remind you guys that I have covered this before, that remember how there was a plane that exploded, or like a small cargo plane, DHL plane in Lithuania, remember? So this is connected to this. And again, it's not because, so it would be one thing if it's totally like, oh, what a random weird thing. No, it's consistent with things they have already done. Okay, so let's listen here to what the Polish PM is saying.
He says, yesterday I spoke with the leaders of countries that are clearly on the side of Ukraine, among other things, about security in the Baltic Sea and about joint action against Russian acts of sabotage. And I think this is also important for Ukraine, as these acts of sabotage, different versions of the war that Russia has declared not only on Ukraine, but the entire civilized world. They also require joint action, and here Poland plays a key role in Europe in countering acts of sabotage and diversion that Russia is organizing, not only on Polish territory. And some acts of sabotage or preparations for diversion were very dramatic. I will not go into details about the latest information, but I can confirm the validity of these fears. That Russia was planning acts of sabotage, air sabotage, and not only against Poland, but against airlines all over the world. So there you go. You heard it straight from the Polish Prime Minister's mouth. He said this directly, that apparently NATO intelligence has gathered enough information to say that this threat is credible. And right now, we're really not sure if it's been stopped or maybe if it's still in motion, and maybe.
Okay, I wanted to pause also just to reiterate something, just underline something the narrator said, that NATO intelligence has confirmed that this is credible, right? It's not credible, like
Mhm.
you said.
Mhm.
NATO is trying
Mhm.
to prevent it from happening. We're not really sure at the moment. So this is very disturbing to hear once again, and we'll have to wait for more information to come out to report even more on it, because I'm sure a lot of people will be curious about that story right there. But moving on to our next post here, this one goes to Null Reports. And moving away from our story about potential Russian sabotage, we are hearing from Null Reports that France has secretly been conducting exercises, codenamed Persis, involving special forces deployments in Ukraine to counter a potential Russian breakthrough from Belarus, reports Intelligence Online. And
Okay, so I think it's interesting to know that about France, but
Yeah.
let's the two of us. So here, Karina, this is okay, an article here. Just you can look it up. It's in a lot of places. Poland's Tusk accuses Russia of plotting acts of terror, and that's exactly what we've been saying in this channel, right? It's terrorism,
Yes. It
period.
is.
So
Yes.
okay, so here, the Kremlin has really denied. Well, oh yeah, let's trust them. Right, orchestrating global acts of sabotage, including acts of air terror targeting airlines. Speaking at a news conference in Warsaw alongside Vladimir Zelensky, Tusk said he could confirm the validity of fears that Russia was planning acts of air terror, not only against Poland, but against airlines around the world.
My God.
So, okay, so they
Mm.
suspect Russian intelligence plot to put incendiary devices in packages on cargo planes bound for North America after one such package caught fire in Germany and another ignited in a warehouse in the UK last year. Now let's stop share here, and I think we have the meat here of the
Yeah.
big questions about it, and also isn't that crazy? Like, imagine if his name was Muhammad, the
Yeah.
people like, or they came from any Arab country. They
Right.
would be in Guantanamo yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's just some kind of like, it's like a pass. They get a pass if they were, you know
I,
what I mean? It's just like unbelievable. I never understand why they don't take it so seriously. Like, oh yeah, then they're like, oh, because this is the type of thing that like Osama bin Laden would be proud of, right? Like,
right.
you know,
Right.
just
Exactly.
like exactly. So now the question is, so remembering the person who sent the email had the question, is
Yeah.
this is this what you guys are talking about? Is this the thing that is going to trigger? And I also have to say this, and tell me also, Karina, after I describe what I picked up. As I was listening to the president or prime minister of Poland talk, I got this impression that they're like, he's crying out for help because they have to act now before
Mm-hmm.
Trump comes into power. And that is even another uh, reason why it has to happen. Because if
Mm-hmm.
Trash comes into power, he's already attacking, like the whole Greenland situation is an attack on Denmark, which
Right.
is right a member of NATO. So it's like this. So a lot of Europeans are saying the Trump administration is attacking our allies on behalf
Right.
of our enemies, basically. So that puts another further sense of urgency into all of this. So the question
Exactly.
is this the sign that something is happening? And again,
Mm-hmm.
if theoretically, today is January 15th, the 20th is the inauguration, theoretically, or reality, right? So far,
Right.
this
Right.
visible world. So is this the sign? Is this a sign that something is going to happen? Okay, so so anyway, this is what I got. But tell me before I actually look if you picked up, because I said what I picked up about the Polish prime minister. If you picked up anything else as we were watching this.
Yeah, as we were watching, I found it interesting that he had said, and I'm sorry if I don't quote it exactly, but he said Russia is carrying out these acts of war against, the world.
Hmm.
And it's like he called it an act of war. Now we just have to say we're at war.
Hmm.
We have to
Yes.
say it.
Yes. Hmm.
He said it.
Hmm.
And what really, really strikes me is that it does say against the whole world.
Hmm. 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 That's right.
When,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just like, how I get those chills. I am
Right. Good.
freezing with that. So
Mhm.
let's go
Right.
into the questions.
All right. So then, okay. So now, so tell me, okay. So, and I just something says I got 18 and then the head of NATO. 18 would be, that's today, 16, 17, 18. Is that Saturday? Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, right? Is that right? Something like that. So anyway, but so let's see. So is this I get the yes,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
beginning, yes, is of the action, but yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like the writing's on the wall. It's saying it's not even like secret. The guy
Mm-mm.
comes in, the world like they're effed.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
So they have to do, that's right, the
Mhm.
urgency. And I see,
And
go ahead, go ahead.
Ruta, I can see him just, he cannot fathom another plane crash with innocent victims. Like
Mm-hmm,
that statement put a fire under his feet like there's no tomorrow because he's gone through two of those now.
mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm,
I'm like, as you can tell, I'm all worked up. Like I can feel the urgency, the desperation of these people because he cannot handle another plane crash,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
another plane exploding with people on it. And that feels very desperate for me. Like I have this desperation. We
mm-hmm.
have to stop this now.
Yeah, and I see also Karina, Rutte calling Biden and being like, okay, we're ready. It's like, okay, and I mean, they're not
Yeah,
even, they can't be, they have to be
right,
very secret, but it's just saying like, I get the impression also when the way he's talking that they had already had this conversation, and I see all these, and then now we see all these airplanes moving, like there's movement already. They're preparing for it. They have moved.
right,
By the way, I didn't even cover it because I thought this is obvious, but there was a news that so the U.S. had these air defense, they managed the air defenses of Poland from something like that, I remember. And then NATO took it over from the US for obvious reasons, right? Because if Trump were to take power, he would probably just like do it abruptly, right? And
right,
then see
right.
what happens. So they did it. It's saying so. In other words, that the Polish prime minister is very, very concerned because he's right there next to Ukraine. So that would be that if Russia were to take over Ukraine, the next sort of like the Nazi, unfortunately, the Second World War situation. You take one country and then you go next, next, next. So,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
this is the truth. So yes, and I see yes, and I see Lloyd Austin, yes, Biden, yes.
Yes.
So everybody okay, but it's not like and people are like, but why is Biden not saying that he's okay? It's like this is the type of thing that they cannot. They only make, and I feel like
Yeah.
again, the reason that the fact that the Polish prime minister is making that statement publicly is very, very significant because
Mhm.
it's the kind of thing that diplomatically it means it's a assertion that they're going to write. They would not make that type of statement unless they were preparing for some sort of action. That's what I think.
Right, exactly. And then that's another thing too. I feel like it's also being put out there for preparation for people to hear because
Mhm,
it is coming.
mhm,
And to me, that is something, and I hate to say it this way, but the fires affected California. You know, some people just have this mentality, oh, it didn't affect me, it's all the way over there. Everybody gets on an airplane once in a while, well, not everybody, but a lot of people get on airplanes. To get on, to think that that could happen, that is so much fear. That is craziness how much fear that is. So they can't have that. I mean, that would set the world in this frenzy, like wondering who's what plane, what we cannot continue. It's like I just get this overwhelming. We cannot continue this business anymore. It has to be dealt with. This
mhm,
is the I think this is a massive breakthrough, honestly. Like talking about it, like I was so worked up, you know that. But as I'm talking, I'm glad you're letting me get this out because I do feel, oh, I can take a deep breath and I feel like it's going to be dealt with because this is, to me, massive.
mhm, mhm. So yeah, so I wanted to put this out now because it's saying yes, I know it's totally okay with Rosie to say that. And then I also got so I'm getting something else. I guess we could say it now, Karina, because it is coming from connected to this just now. So it's
Yes,
okay to say it.
go
So
say
two
it.
things. Two things. One is that it was very interesting that someone sent me, let me see if I can open this. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I got a message, I think it was yesterday from someone. Now, what's interesting is that I posted that video very, very late last night. You guys saw it, right? It was a very short
Hmm.
video. And I there was a last maybe some of you noticed if you watched television, yeah, it ended sort of abruptly. The reason it ended abruptly is because I had recorded a third section of it or whatever, like recorded. I paused and then I recorded, paused, and recorded, and then put the videos together, right? But when I, it was so you press the stop the video from Zoom, it kind of unpacks the video and shows you the different sections. It wasn't there. So what happened is it was so late, I probably never pressed the recording button again. So it didn't show. And I was like, oh, okay, weird. Maybe there's a reason for it. But now I feel like it's okay to say it. I
Mhm.
mean, it's also very late. So just to be fair. So this person lives in Dallas, Texas, and she sent me this this screenshot and also the link to the article. So so here is, I'm going to read this to you. U.S. Department of Defense conducting military training across Dallas-Fort Worth. The training will involve air and ground mobility operations from January 13th to the 24th, according to Dallas police. For the next 2 weeks, because they're just alerting the population that this is the reason. But I find it curious that it's
Mhm.
between those dates, right? And
Right.
there's so much movement, and many, many, many people, as you all have all seen in the comment section from different parts of the country, are saying that the ones that live near military bases are noticing a lot of activity. The other thing that I thought was very interesting from what she sent me, is that I noticed randomly, because I had to take the picture here of the link and make the letters huge so you could see it. So you could see that this is the link, right? And then
Hmm.
instead of saying that this is the Department of Defense, it's DOD. But instead of DOD, it says DOJ. And I was like, to me, that was either it was I think it was a sign. The person may have confused it or whatever reason, right? A person who creates links for the website is like, there's no particular meaning sometimes to it. But I
Hmm.
thought how interesting that DOJ, Department of Justice, training operation, right? So to me, it's significant. So I wanted to
Hmm.
share that because there is stuff going on, right? People are noticing
Right.
no matter what. And then something else that I discussed with Karina. So remember, guys, I said I talked about a reading I had with someone yesterday, and her mother had come through, and this person before the reading, she sent me something that she said that this video kept coming up on her like an older video of mine kept coming up on her, what you call it, her, like a list
The-
of the videos. I forgot
yeah. The feed.
the feed, that's right. And it's a video of when here Biden is out, Kamala is in. And she said, "Oh, you know how interesting." When we talked, then she said something like, "How interesting. That's what I thought could happen with Joe Biden." Joe Biden, remember how he very suddenly, everybody was very surprised when he suddenly announced that he was quitting, not quitting, he was
Hmm.
retiring the campaign and letting Kamala take over. And then I remembered. So then she said that. She said, "Oh, I just see like something like this could happen." And then I'm talking to Karina today,
Hmm.
and I remember Karina also. I don't know if I think you may have said it publicly, Karina, but
Hmm.
you said it many times that
Yes.
you remember that this situation was just like the moment when Biden dropped out and Kamala came in, that it was very sudden. And then as I remember that, I also remember that it happened on a Sunday.
Hmm.
So and the inauguration is supposed to be Monday. So I'm just saying, like the whole concept of the last minute thing is very real, right,
Hmm.
Quinn? So anyway, so that's
Yes.
all I wanted to say before we end this video. And again, I think there will be another video today, but I wanted to get it out so that okay,
Yeah.
so you guys have this information because it's urgent. But go ahead, Quinn. Go ahead if
No, you said it all perfectly. That's great. Yep.
right. So
Hmm.
so we both agreed to.
We both agree, still coming down to the last minute.
Hmm. hmm And also to
Eerily.
yeah, to send it out. Okay.
Yes,
So,
yes,
so
send it out.
so I'll talk to you guys later. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. Okay. So